Hello, beautiful people. I am Pastor JaMara J. Smith, and welcome to my channel where you're going to get a common sense approach to dating and relationships, all while finding your purpose and fulfilling your destiny. I'm so glad you're joining me on tonight. It's Friday. You could be doing anything, and you decided to join me on tonight. So I greatly appreciate you. Now, based on the thumbnail, I'm talking about WAP. And it's not the W.A.P that you're referring to. I'm referring to W.A.P, Women and Purpose. And the reason why I wanted to discuss that is because I recently had a conversation with some of my single friends, and we were just talking, and they kept saying the same thing over and over. They were saying, you know what? Dating, it's just too much, and finding a good man is so hard. And so, they were just going on and on. And so I just started to ask them questions. I said, so what is it that, you're looking for in the person that you want to have companionship with? And they began to list different things. And I just, I started to just have a listening ear. And, a lot of them were saying, they wanted to be, the person to have a house, vehicle, career, business, all of these, various things that they're asking and requesting of companionship. So I just started to ask them, so the things that you're looking for in a companionship, are you offering the same thing? And, some of them said they could not. So I've always kind of had this perspective of whatever it is that you're looking to have in someone else, make sure that that is the same thing that is in you, if not more. So while you're single, you have to just get busy doing whatever it is God has purposed you to be doing in the earthly realm. So all of us are put here for a reason. We weren't just put here to solely only be a wife. You're here for a purpose. There is some business that you're supposed to be about in order to occupy your time until it's time for your companion to come to you. So, a lot of us, we're looking for all of these different things, and, we're lonely, we're, and crying ourselves to sleep, and you get in bitterness, then you can become angry, and all of these things are taking a toll on your heart and your mental well-being. But what I found out is that if you're busy doing what your purpose is, you really don't have time to focus on being lonely. You don't have time to focus on, dating. All of those things are secondary because you're putting your purpose first. So what is it, that you're here to do? What are you supposed to be doing? If you're a single woman, you should be so busy in your purpose that dating is just something that comes around when you have time. See, if you are focused on, dating, if you have a 9 to 5 and then your second job is dating, there's a problem, sis. You got to be busy doing your purpose. If you're single, this is the best time for you to make your mistakes, to do things through trial and error, to try out and try to accomplish your dreams. All of these things are what you do in your singlehood. Now, see, I can come from both perspectives because I was married for over a decade and then divorced for over a decade and now single. So I know what it is and how hard it is to be in a relationship when you're married because you're constantly denying your flesh. It is no longer about you. It's about the two of you. You can't, in a marriage covenant, you can't just make decisions on your own without consulting with your spouse. When you're married, you want to keep the peace and constant communication with your spouse. So if you're like, I just recently did some remodeling to my backyard. That was something that I had been wanting to do for a while. I had the space, so I had some things. I had a deck build and, a pergola and some other things that I have going on. And What if I was in a marriage, situation, a marriage covenant with my husband, and even though this is something that I had been, thinking about doing for a while, and I'm saving my coins, trying to get everything I need in order to get the project started. And right when I'm about to just, call the contractor and say, okay, this is what I would like to do, my spouse says to me, you know what? I don't think that's a good idea. I think we should use that money towards something else. I can't, in a marriage situation, therefore say, wait a minute, I've already spent time and money budgeting to make sure that not us, that I can get what I want. That's a problem. When you're in a marriage situation, it's not about what you want. It's about what both parties want. So if my spouse said it's a no-go, not a good idea, I want to put that money somewhere else, let's put it in some investments, let's do this, that, and the third, I will have to say, okay, I understand that's what you feel like we want to do, so I'll go ahead and go with that. I can get it built another time. But when you're single, you don't have to answer to anybody. I didn't have to call anybody and get, have a conversation asking or trying to compromise or trying to convince somebody that I wanted to make some arrangements for my backyard. No, I just picked up the phone, called the contractor, told him what I wanted to get done. Bam, get it done, because I'm single. But when you're in a marriage situation, you have to take your spouse's consideration, your spouse's feelings, everything into consideration before you make major decisions that's going to affect the two of you. And if there are kids involved, if it's going to affect all of you. So in a marriage situation, it's totally different, which is why we have to change our perspective on being single. If you are a single person, what are you doing to occupy your time? If you know your purpose, then you're moving and shaking and grooving in whatever it is your purpose is to be. So, of course, we're all growing and we're all going through a journey. But you shouldn't be so tied down and focused on dating, on, trying to get a man, trying to get a woman. While you're single, perfect yourself in your singleness so that you can be made whole. One thing about being single is you can fake it with people, but you can't fake it with God. He knows what's on the inside of you. He knows what it is, your character. He knows if you have integrity. He knows all of these things. So you can say to somebody all day long, oh, I'm a person of integrity. I have character. I have all of these things going on. And you may have all of these things going on. But what about what's going on the inside of you? You may have a house, a car, a business, whatever it is that you feel you need to get to come to the table with something. But if you don't have a loving demeanor, if your heart is not fixed on God, if your character is out of whack, there's no way you're going to attract the person that God has ordained for you to be with. You need to have a purity of heart in order to attract who God has for you. In the meantime of you waiting, get busy. Start that business. Start that the LLC, the sole proprietorship. Do a business that you're passionate about. Write that book. Now is the time. Because when you're married, you don't have a lot of time. Your time is being occupied by other people, your spouse, children, family members. All of that is going to take a toll on you if you don't know how to balance it. So while you're in your singlehood, get busy doing the things that you've dreamed about. Get busy doing your business. And if you start a business and then you have to shut it down, that's fine. Because guess what? The only person that was affected by that business is you, unless you had employees. But as far as with your household situation, it is just you. There's not a spouse there that you have to be accountable to. So start a business, boo. Start your business. Write your book. The book that's on the inside of you, speaking about your testimony and what you've been through. Write your book. Start a business. Get more in shape, more, get healthier than where you are right now. You are what you attract. If you're looking for six-pack, in that person, do you have a six-pack? Do you have muscles? Are you toned? Are you fit? Some of my single friends say they want a man that has a six-pack and, no beer belly or anything like that. Okay, well, sis, come on now. Have you taken a look in the mirror lately? When was the last time you worked out? But you looking for a six-pack in him. Let me take a sip on that. Oh my goodness, it was so funny. Okay. Let's focus on us. Let's focus on how we can be better. Not just for our spouse, but for ourselves. It's like when you're busy with life and you're passionate about life and you're passionate about your purpose, being lonely is something that happens once in a while. It's not an everyday thing because, of course, we're all human. So naturally, if you see, if you're watching a movie and it's about couples and you just reminiscing or thinking about or imagining, being with your companion, that's fine. That's a part of life. But that shouldn't go into, oh my God, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm by myself. I'm focused on dating and nobody wants me and I don't know why and I don't know this and they ghosted me and they not calling and they're not texting and I don't understand. Sis, that's team too much. Team too much, sis. Can't do that. If you're in that state of mind, and it's like that on a regular basis, you got to readjust some things and focus on why you're feeling like that on a regular basis, because that's not the way it should be if you know your purpose. If you're walking in your purpose, you're so focused on God and fulfilling the purpose that he put you on this earth to do, that when that man or woman comes into your life, it's just icing on the cake, boo. I already have a wonderful life. I have a life that's full of love, of joy, of peace. There's no drama. And when that person comes along, it's just perfecto. It's almost like great. Okay, so this is just an addition to my already great life. And they're going to fit into your life that you already have established. See, when you don't have anything going on, if you're only going to work, working your 9 to 5, and then you come home and you're just watching TV all day, or you're listening to a podcast or whatever you're doing, looking at reality television. Come on now. That's not development. Everything has its place, but it shouldn't be a regular occurrence. So while you're single, this is the time. Being single means it's your time. It's your time to prosper. It's your time to get, your dreams established, your goals met. It's when you become whole. See, you got to be in a place in your heart in order to receive who God has in store for you. And you just got to be busy doing the work of the Lord, busy doing your purpose, busy walking out your destiny. See, when the person that God has for me comes into my life, I already have so many things going on. Now, when they come into my life, I will make time for them, but that's something that I would choose to do. I'm going to make time. Why? Because my time is consumed with so many other things that I have going on in my purpose, in my passion, in my hobbies, with my kids. And even though I have 2 kids and they're all young adults and they're grown, we still go on trips. Before COVID, we would go on a trip every year. We would plan the whole year, get ready for it. That's, something that I did with them. And then I would have my own little getaway. I would just, go get a room on the beach somewhere and just stay the weekend. Just me by myself. Just treat myself to a weekend on the beach. These are things that, I already have established. I work out 3 days a week. I do content on my social media accounts, which is going to be teaching and motivating people. There's always something going on. I'm extremely involved in my church. Of course, as a pastor, you're ministering and you're teaching, you're helping, you're serving. There's a lot going on, and I own my own home. And with that comes responsibility as well, with upkeep. And like I just told you earlier, I wanted to do some remodeling in my backyard. So I got, all of that was going on. So there's just, a lot. My life is so full and I'm so thankful. There's just a lot that I have going on. I am not sitting around waiting for Mr. Right, waiting for my husband. He's going to find me busy. He's going to find me busy, what? In my purpose. Because that's the way God wants it to be. You have to be busy doing the work of the Lord. That way you'll be found. Because then you're already put in a position, your posture. You're because of your obedience, you've put yourself in a posture to receive what God has for you. Your heart is ready because your heart seeks after Christ. Your heart seeks to please God. You have a heart to serve. And so God is going to bring that person in your life at the right time, at the right moment. And that person also has to be right. You could be ready. You could have everything in place. You could be walking in your purpose, fulfilling your destiny, but your spouse may be at a stage where they're getting themselves together. They're working things out within themselves. They're dealing with things that they're trying to get over. And that's okay. Even when you get together with and have companionship, no one is perfect. We're all going to be working through something. But you could be in a place where you're ready, but your spouse is not yet. They're still getting things together. Maybe they've said, you know what? I don't want to be put in a position where I meet my spouse or my partner and I don't have my own home. Some people feel like they want to own their, he or she may say, okay, Lord, I want to own my own home. I want to have my own business. And I want to be making X amount of dollars before you bring that person into my life. That is their heart's desire. God is going to grant them their heart's desire. So you could be at a place where you're ready to receive the companionship that you desire, but that person is still getting some things worked on. So I want to know what my special guest thinks. I have someone who is on the line. I have special guest Zindzi Randolph, who is on the line. Welcome, Zindzi.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening. Today we're talking about W.A.P, and I am speaking about women and purpose. So I wanted to know your perspective on purpose in your life, dating compared to dating and relationships. How do you balance the two? What do you think about purpose and partnership?
Purpose and partnerships. As far as like my purpose aligning with like my relationship.
Yes.
Okay, well, I think it's really, of course, it's really important. Just because you need to have somebody who understands your goals and your dreams and where you're trying to go, where you have been, where you've been before, and that for sure you don't want to go back to. And they need to understand where God is trying to take you. And they may not see the full vision because, God gave it to you to see, not to them to see, technically. And I always say sometimes people don't see the vision that you see, and that's okay because it wasn't meant for them, it was meant for you. But still, having, somebody who they don't downplay the vision that was given to you, they encourage it, as long as it, truly is of God, they accept it and they help pour into you, all the things that you need for that to vision to manifest. Or and then you do the same for them, because we all have different plans and purposes and we're all given different visions, and I say that with a S because, singular is just one, and then plural is, with the S. So, we're given more than one. I had to think about that.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I love what you just said. So let me reverse that. What if you are with someone and they don't support you in your purpose and they don't even agree that that is your purpose? They don't even think that you heard from God and they feel like you're wrong.
So is this somebody I'm dating or somebody that I'm actually like in a relationship with or somebody that I'm like...
It could be however you want to see it.
So if it's somebody that I'm dating, then I would truly feel that they're not the one for me. I feel like that would kind of give me the discernment and just the revelation of like, maybe they're not the one God has for you. If this is somebody that I'm actually married to, it would have to be in the lines of like, well, one of those like, some people just aren't going to see that vision. So, then if you don't have that support from them, it means you have to put in 10 times more work to just prove them wrong. And, and sometimes that does happen in marriage, and, people, they start seeing it when it manifests and then they want to jump on board. And then that's when they start, really being like your partner and a team player. And you hear about that happening, at times.
So what if, because we jump from dating to marriage, what about the actual, if you were in a relationship before marriage and the person, didn't agree with your purpose? Because I would think that we as women who have discernment and know our purpose, we wouldn't marry someone who didn't agree with our purpose, who didn't even align up with our purpose, didn't even make it to the marriage state. So what if you were in a relationship with someone that you've been with for a while and it's looking like it could go towards a marriage and they just don't agree with your purpose?
So that's hard for me to sit here and talk about because I've never been in that situation. And yeah, I've never been in that situation to know how I would feel and then know how to act upon it. So I really, that's tough for me to speak on because I don't have like really the emotions to really draw from internally to really give a definitive answer. I mean, it's, I guess, and sometimes being single women, it's easy for us to say, "Oh, girl, just leave him," just leave him. But that's not always the case. So yeah, I think that maybe after, of course, I feel like you'd be hurt, and then after a while, maybe like I said, if you just start working towards it and then it starts to manifest and take off, or maybe they could just wake up one day and really just like, what you were saying, like I see it now, like I see it. So yeah.
I love your perspective, Zindzi, because it's like you have such a positive outlook on different situations. And I can say from experience that I have personally been in a situation where I was with someone in a relationship. The relationship wasn't that long. It was probably, we were probably maybe three to 6 months in.
Mm-hmm.
And they were on board with everything that I had already said in the very beginning about what I know God is destined for my purpose and what I need to be doing to fulfill it. And they were on board. But then they switched it when they actually saw that I meant what I said, because sometimes people say what their purpose is, but they never walk it out. It's almost like, okay, I know this is what I'm supposed to do, but I'm actually not doing it. I'm going to do it one day, or I'm going to eventually get to it. Well, I was actually walking out my purpose and doing everything that I had told this person that I was supposed to be doing at that time in my journey. And then they all of a sudden said, you know what? I don't believe that that's your purpose. I think that, you know, you should be doing this or that. I feel like you need to go another direction. So at that point in time, that's when I had to let that relationship go and let that person know in love, you know, thank you. This is as far as we're going to go in our journey. But, you know, I have to say goodbye and I wish you nothing but the best. And that's fine. People are entitled to change their minds. But again, also, the real person is going to eventually show up. When someone shows you who they are, my mother has always said, believe it. So
Yeah.
they put on a good front for a good, you know, 3 to 6 months. But after they saw it, that what I said, I was walking it out and I meant business, then that became a totally different subject. And
They
that's
were
when I had
jealous.
to let it go. Go ahead.
I said they were jealous. That's what it was. They were jealous because they knew their purpose too, and they knew that they weren't living or walking in that purpose. And then they saw you are in living in it, walking in it, and on fire in it. And you know, they just couldn't. They couldn't keep up. You know, they just couldn't. You know, compare to compete. And that was honestly that was insecurity on their issue. So they tried to reroute you to get you off course for you to kind of be out there flapping your wings again and slowly falling like a new baby bird trying to fly,
Right.
you know, because that was pretty much the boat that they were in. So they would have rather seen you step out of your purpose and struggle than for you to be in your purpose and succeeding.
Wow. Now, those are words of wisdom from my special guest, Zindzi Randolph. So much knowledge that she just dropped for all of you to listen to. And I'm so grateful that she was able to join me on tonight. And in conclusion, I just want everyone to know that tonight we discussed women and purpose. And I had my beautiful guest, Zindzi Randolph, who was able to drop some jewels for all of you on tonight. I want to say thank you so much, Zindzi, for your words of wisdom on tonight. And I want to let everyone else know that you can join us every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when I go live right here. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button so that you can join me every time I go live, which is every Friday. I post a new video every Tuesday and Friday. So thank you so much, everyone, for your time. And until next time, you have a blessed and prosperous day. And I will see you all next week.
Bye.